So first off, Kevin Jacklin. He was born November 11th, 1961 in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He grew up with what could be considered a very stereotypical childhood. Really his only concern in life at that time was school and playing baseball with friends. He actually kind of said it was sort of like almost the same as that old movie The Sandlot, in a sense, where it was very comparable to that. Neither of his parents had ever passed a high school or gone past a high school education. They had all just went straight into the workforce, and at first he really didn't have any thoughts pertaining to college. Once again, because his parents just went straight into the workforce, it didn't push him to go and find that higher education. So really the only way that he found it was by speaking to his friends' parents, who had actually gone off to college and had gone through, the higher education. So when they would take their kids, he would kind of tag along with them and see the campuses. And then he decided on Oshkosh after attending a UFO concert, which I guess was a rock band back in the day, at Albee Hall. And just after walking around campus for a while, he just really thought it was a right fit for him. It was just the correct thing. He then applied later and began his freshman year in 1980. During his sophomore year, he became a member of the Residence Hall Committee for North Scott Hall. The reason that he was joining actually was just because one of the hall directors had came up to him and said, "Hey, we want you to come join us. We think it'd be a lot of fun." And he said, "I like you. You're a good person, sure." So the purpose of this committee was to make improvements to the residence halls by keeping the halls clean, like just getting rid of trash, helping the floors with events. And then he specifically had the position of the treasurer, so he would kind of like delegate where all the funds would go for parties or different events that they would have, including drinking parties, because in this time it was an 18-year-old drinking age, and so they would have a lot of fun in the dorms and would actually go out and buy their own alcohol. They would also do fundraisers, such as a Valentine's Day fundraiser, where they did, I think they raised, he said, some thousand amount of dollars, and they would later on donate that to the muscular dystrophy telethon in the form of a massive check. So they actually went on TV and gave that out. And then another another committee that he was in was the Alcohol Task Force. And this was also in his sophomore year. Just another residence life director decided, hey, we want you in this. It'd be really fun. And the purpose of this was to create rules that would help people inside of the dorms, like different students, pertaining to what is safe and what is fair and the amount of alcohol that they could have. One of the focuses in one of their certain debates was, should they be allowed to have a keg of beer, even though that they are allowed to make WAP parties and like have all that going? And one side was saying, and I think it was the staff was saying, no, you shouldn't be allowed to have a keg of beer because that's too much. There's nowhere close to enough people that would drink it, even though it's freshman year or sophomore year of college, and that usually doesn't work out. Even though that in WAP, you don't know usually what's going in there, and it could be a whole lot more dangerous. So here's a little clip that he said.
At that time, almost all the committee members were, there should be no alcohol on campus whatsoever. And I was kind of the opposite, which says, we're 18, we should be allowed to drink. However, we shouldn't be, we don't want to make the dorms, a disco or something.